I am deeply displeased with my husband and his mother. I apologize for the length of this message, but I need to express my feelings. To provide some background, my husband is from the West Coast, where his mother still resides. After we graduated, we relocated to the East Coast where we met. Initially, his mother would visit us 3 to 4 times a year, and he would have to take time off work to entertain her. After 2 years of this, while we were still dating, I asked him how we would ever be able to go on a vacation together if he had to spend his time off at home with her. We decided to save our time off for a trip to Europe in 2023, and he assured me that he would not have to take time off work every time his mother visited. At my previous job, I worked from home 4 days a week, and every time his mother came, she acted like a disgruntled child with her toys taken away. But as soon as my husband returned home, she was happy again. My husband and I relocated to a new state approximately 6 months ago, with the goal of being closer to my family. My new physician recommended that I undergo surgery, which my previous doctor had been delaying for some reason. This is a straightforward procedure that will significantly enhance my quality of life in the long term. My mother-in-law expressed her desire to visit us and explore our new town. She offered to assist with household chores while I recover from the surgery. I appreciate her intentions, but I am not looking forward to her energy after the procedure. We have agreed that she can help with cooking, cleaning, and laundry, allowing me to focus on rest and recovery. She will visit us for a proper visit later this year. On Wednesday, my husband dropped me off at the hospital, thinking it would be a simple surgery followed by a night of observation. However, on Thursday, the doctor informed me that my test results were not as expected, so I had to stay for another night and undergo additional tests in the morning. I phoned my husband and informed him that I anticipated returning home the following day, via telephone in the early afternoon. However, he did not come to visit me on Thursday. On Friday, I was discharged from the hospital and called my husband to let him know I would be home in an hour or so. However, my call went straight to voicemail, indicating that he was likely in a meeting. I attempted to call again later, but after several unsuccessful attempts over the course of an hour, I gave up and called my sister. Fortunately, my sister had been granted a work exemption that afternoon, thanks to her excellent boss. She drove for over an hour to pick me up and bring me home, but the place was a mess. There were laundry baskets on the dining table. The cat litter had not been cleaned since Wednesday, and there were days-old dishes in the sink. I completely lost it and started crying. My sister packed my belongings and brought me to her place for a couple of weeks. On Friday evening, my husband called me in a state of panic, asking where I was and why the hospital had already discharged me. He was on a hiking trip with his mother and had no access to cell service, so he missed all my calls. This meant he had to take additional time off work for his mother's visit. I understand that I cannot prevent him from taking time off work, but don't you think he could have spent that time with me in the hospital instead of with his mother on a date? I explained to him that I was not comfortable recovering at our home and would not return until it was clean and his mother had left. He called me a drama queen because his mother wanted to explore the area, and I was unable to leave the hospital anyway. He said I was making a big deal out of nothing, but I retorted that he had essentially abandoned me at the hospital with someone who was supposed to be helping me recover, not making it worse. She was there to support me, not for a vacation. Perhaps it's the medication talking, but I'm beginning to question whether I'm in the wrong. Is it truly worth fighting for this relationship? A part of me believes I should consult a lawyer and explore my options, as I am uncertain whether things will ever improve. I know this may sound self-centered, but I truly desire children, and I no longer believe I can have them with my spouse. If our relationship is not working, I do not wish to waste another 5 years on therapy. I want to move forward and find someone who will be a good father and husband, not just a partner. Thank you for listening, friends. I canceled my wedding last month after learning that my fiancé, whom I had been with for 4 years, had a secret second bank account. Despite the fact that we had been planning the wedding for a year and had already merged our finances in preparation, I decided to call off the wedding because of this revelation. It was a difficult decision, but I felt that it was the right thing to do. I understand that some of my friends and family members may not understand my decision and may criticize me for it. However, I believe that I reacted appropriately given the circumstances. We had discussed financial matters and our future plans, and I believed we were on the same page. However, this revelation has shown me that there were some things that I was not aware of, and it was important for me to take action. A few weeks before the wedding, while I was doing paperwork for our joint account, I noticed that a deposit had been missing. It wasn't a small amount, $2,500, and my fiancé had said he had deposited it into the account. When I asked him about it, he brushed it off as a mistake and said it would be sorted out soon. However, I persisted and continued to look into it. I found out that there was actually a significant amount of money missing, over $33,000, that he had transferred to another checking account in his name at another bank. This was more than the deposit I had noticed missing from our account. I felt betrayed and upset. I knew that it wasn't right for him to hide money from me, so I did something I never thought I would. I checked his email on our shared device. To my surprise, there were notifications for a new checking account under his name at the other bank with a balance of over $33,000. I was shocked and hurt by what I had found. I felt like my trust had been broken. It took me a long time to process what had happened and to decide what to do next. I confronted him immediately. At first, he denied it. He said that it was an old account that he had forgotten about. Then, he admitted that he had been secretly transferring money from our joint earnings into that account for the past year and a half. His reasoning was that it was a safety net, something he had done because he had grown up in poverty, and it made him feel more secure. However, he had never mentioned it during our financial planning conversations, keeping it a secret from me. I was not angry about the money itself. I was angry about the deception. When I asked my fiancé about it, he said that I was being overly dramatic and that it's normal for people to have some savings. However, this was not the case. The money was hidden from me, and it was not part of our shared finances. When I asked for some time to think about it, my fiancé became defensive. Then, when I decided to postpone the wedding, he got angry and accused me of humiliating him. His mother also contacted me and was furious, saying that I had ruined the plans by being judgmental. Some of my friends suggested that we should have talked it out and sought couples counseling. One friend even said that I was lucky that my fiancé was financially responsible and that most women would envy me for having such a partner. However, to me, the issue was not about money. It was about trust in our relationship. I felt that marriage should be a partnership, not a secret competition where one partner feels they need to hide their finances from the other. I felt that the hidden bank account was a violation of our trust and a sign that he was not being honest with me. I felt like he was keeping something from me, and it made me feel uncomfortable. Am I the asshole for canceling the wedding because of the hidden bank account?